Pleasant good night, everyone. I am Daniel Placid, and it is my honor to be here tonight to share this very sacred space with you. And I want to say thank you to the All Cancer Group of Trinidad and Tobago, led by Shadi Weeks, coming out of her very difficult situation. I know I love to say hard battles birth strong testimonies, and it's just such an honor to be in this support group space tonight, serving you and just being really, really present with you as you go through this journey. And so, um, tonight it's all about you, the caregiver, walking along your loved one facing cancer. And even if you are in this sacred space and have not been a caregiver to a cancer patient, we still honor you and we are still blessed to have you. And so caregiving is one of the hardest, and I like to say the holiest roles we carry. It is filled with love, but it's also very, very heavy. Um, you give comfort, stability, and strength, but at the same time, you may feel tired, anxious, stretched thin. So it can be emotionally exhausting, physically draining, and mentally overwhelming. Our theme for today, as you would see on the PowerPoint slide, the role of the caregiver while keeping it together. The truth is, it is not only about keeping your loved one together, but it's also about keeping yourself together. And that's why I am here tonight to help you understand how do I keep myself together in the role of the caregiver. And so, as I said, Daniel Placid, I am from Safe Place Family Life Enrichment Center, serving as the family life and emotional well-being counselor. My expertise and professional interests focus on providing support to children, youth, adults, couples, those who are faith-based and non-faith-based. And really, it's my single goal is to enhance the emotional well-being of the individual. My organization stands on the premise of hope, harmony, and healing. We also stand on the premise of ensuring that persons, when they come into a space, feels supported, to understand that you are not alone. Caregiving is an act of love wrapped in endurance, patience, and grace. It is not easy, but it's meaningful. Take a moment wherever you are to just process that. As I repeat it, caregiving is an act of love wrapped in endurance, patience, and grace. It is not easy. By no means it is easy, but it's meaningful. And so tonight, we will explore, and by the end of the session, you will recognize the unique role of the caregiver, identify common challenges and causes of caregiving, the stressors that we face. You will be able to explore practical coping strategies and self-care tools, learn ways to protect your mental health, discover simple practices to sustain hope on this journey. And also, we can't leave this space without faith-based tools for you, the caregiver. Please remember, this is a safe space. Share only what you're comfortable sharing and feel free to use the chat box to send your message privately or if you want to give support to another person in our space. Tonight, we are so excited to hold space. I am excited because I am the first to be part of this initiative, this support group that is well needed throughout Trinidad and Tobago, globally, internationally. So I'm very, very honored that you would have me. Why me? You might ask. Why am I the one that was chosen to support you tonight? Why me? And as you see on screen, my husband and I, we took a picture in, that's in one of our general hospital because in 2022, he was diagnosed with stage 1 lymphoma, B-cell lymphoma, And that news brought fear, uncertainty, and many sleepless nights. And like many caregivers, I had to learn how to navigate the medical system, support him emotionally, manage household responsibility, all at the same time, and care for myself. It was not easy. There were moments of doubt, anxiety stepped in, exhaustion. But through it all, and by the grace of God, my husband is healed today. Now, that experience has given me a deeper understanding of the challenges caregivers face and a heart for supporting those who are walking within this journey. I'm here to share practical tools, coping strategies, bring hope to those who feel hopeless because I've lived it and seen what works in real life. I don't know everything, but I can only share from what I have lived. And so I ask you to give me a few minutes of your time as we dive into this very, very important topic. But before we do that, I want you to take a minute and share in one word that describes how you feel in your role as a caregiver. Put it in the chat. And if you are watching the replay, feel free to drop a message on our YouTube channel, a question. How do you feel? What emotion comes up for you when you think about your role as a caregiver? Yes, tired, blessed. Thank you for sharing. Anxious, hopeful, overwhelmed, and grateful. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for sharing your heart. I am hearing a mix of emotions of exhaustion and gratitude, worry, and in some case, love. That is the real picture of caregiving. So tonight, we'll honor that reality while also exploring ways to care for yourself in the middle of it. Are you ready? Yes, let's dive in. And so, for the first thing, let's explore the role of the caregiver. When cancer enters a family, the role of the caregiver changes everything. It changed for me. You become more than a loved one, more than a loved one. You become part of the care team. That's the way I want you to see it. You're not just a caregiver, but you have become part of the care team. Because caregivers are sometimes called the second patient because the journey also affects you. And so, as caregivers, we wear many hats, and sometimes we feel like we have to be everything to everyone all the time. And here are some roles that I filled in my journey as a caregiver. One, a medical advocate, managing appointments, medication, test results, and talking to the doctors as well. Another role that I filled, and I'm sure you do the same, emotional supporter, listening, reassuring, holding space for your loved one's emotions, their fear, their anger, their hope, and their moments of joy. I also became a practical helper, meals, housework, errands, finances to take care of, different things that my husband and I would have had to share. I now had to do that. And I'm very, very grateful. Even in this moment, I take time to say thank you for those who showed up. And we are going to talk more about your support circle later down. But when we understand the role of the caregiver, who you become also a companion in the unknown. This was a big one for me. Sitting in waiting rooms, waiting for scans, being present in a space of uncertainty, not knowing the next, not knowing what are the results, not knowing what is going to happen on the other side. Each of these roles, they are demanding. And sometimes it feels like you're losing yourself in the process. But be assured, caregiving is more than just tasks. It's about presence, patience, and persistence. Presence, patience, and persistence. However, if we are not careful, caregiving can lead to compassion fatigue, role overload, and even the loss of our own identity. And so take a minute and reflect. Which one of these roles feels most natural to you? And which one feels most overwhelming? Are there any other roles you think you can fill that I have not shared? Take a minute, and as you do that, just really be honest. What feels overwhelming and what feels more natural to you? After a while, being a medical advocate became natural, and just going to the hospital and all of that for me. What was overwhelming was the emotional support, because I had to hold space for his big emotions and stuff, and while I was also dealing with my emotions. So that one was a bit overwhelming for me. All right, awesome. So now that you have shared, let's move right ahead to understanding the common challenges that caregivers face. Because we have to be honest, caregiving, as I said in the beginning of when I just started, it can be very heavy. And along with these roles come real life challenges. Naming them honestly, being honest, helps us to work through our struggles. And it gives us permission to seek help. When you are open with what is going on in you and what is going on around you. And so the first thing, anxiety and depression, constant worrying. Let me know in the chat if this was you. Constant worrying and sadness, physical exhaustion, fatigue and burn out, exhaustion from long hours and emotional load. My sleep hygiene was disrupted totally. I remember many nights because of the fear of, because when you hear cancer and you get a diagnosis of cancer, the first thing come to mind is death, and you really have to ground yourself to be hopeful. Um, I remember many nights I would just hold on to his shirt or his t-shirt or his leg just to make sure he's there and just to feel his body in the night. So that was me. So it was, my sleep was always disrupted, because if he move, I would move. If he up, I would be up. You also go through emotional stress. A big one is feeling guilty, or the guilt of feeling helpless, wishing you could do more. What can I do? In moments when persons are experiencing difficulties on the journey, it's like sometimes we really cannot do anything, and you feel helpless. Fear steps in, grief steps in, resentment sometimes surface, and we're going to talk more about anger and resentment later on. Um, the feeling or feeling invisible or unappreciated could also step in. And as I said, I like to be open and vulnerable, and we can laugh about this now. But I remember one time, my husband asked for something to eat, and I was very excited, because with chemotherapy, he would, ask for different things, and sometimes, the appetite would not be there. So I went and, like the loving wife, and I went ahead and I made this wonderful meal for him. And by the time I got to his room, he did not want it. I felt unappreciated for the hard work. But I had to ground myself and to appreciate and understand it's not always about me. And that moment was him, because of the medication and the chemo, his appetite and Shadi, you would know this. Um, it gets messed up. But it does not take away from the fact that as human beings, we long to feel, and I call it the 4S. I can't remember. There was a psychologist that came from, I just can't remember, but we want to feel seen. And this involves more than just being observed. It means feeling understood, validated. We want to be seen. Um, and so you want to be soothed as well, comfort it. You want your emotion to be regulated. from others, especially when distressed. Um, you want to feel safe, feeling that your physical and emotional needs are going to be met as well. And so when moments of like the things happen during the journey of while you're taking care of the person, sometimes you do feel unappreciated, and that's a real feeling. And I don't want you to sit and feel bad about that. It's a real feeling because we want to be seen, soothed, safe, and also feel secure. Um, you know, feel confident in oneself and others, right? And again, let's do some reflection. Which of these challenges do you connect with the most right now? Anxiety and depression, physical exhaustion, emotional stress, social isolation, financial and work-related stress, feeling invisible or unappreciated. Which one of these, again, use the chat to do so. And if you are watching the replay, feel free to leave us your comments. And don't forget to subscribe and also to our YouTube channel, Safe Place, and also to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and do the same for the All Cancer group of Trinidad and Tobago. Ensure that you follow for information and for your growth and for just to be part of a support group. So now that you have listed your challenges that you connected to the most, and I've seen most people put anxiety and depression, emotional stress, yes, awesome. What are some causes of our stress? Where these stresses come from? So let's look deeper into what we are experiencing and how we can respond to them. So, stress number one, managing the cancer patient's fear. So, what's the stress? You carry your own anxiety while absorbing your loved one's fear. How do we now work through that? Share the emotional load with professionals or a support group like this. Set gentle limits and process your own fears separately. Yeah. And then there's another stress where it puts strain on the relationship. The patient may lash out, or family members may disagree about your way of caregiving. And so, how do we cope with that? Remember, it's often the illness talking. It's not about you. Don't take it personally. Set clear rules and seek outside help, meditation, taking a walk, journaling, just so that you can process your own emotion. Another stressor is managing finances. That was thankfully we had persons who showed up so much for us, and I'm so grateful. But I know there are people who are struggling because this is an expensive journey for you, and I get that. So treatment cost, reduced work. My husband could not work, of course, in 2019 because he was diagnosed in 2022. And so in 2019, I left my job based on the call of God. And for those who know me would know my story, not knowing so many things was going to be ahead. One, my dad would have got sick in 2020. Then we had COVID, and coming out of COVID in 2022 is when my husband got ill. Now leaving my job, it means I was about to work for myself, so but couldn't do so because of COVID. And then when my husband was diagnosed, of course, he was the priority. And so finances were strained, but we thank God that we got help. But there are people who are still struggling. So the stress of treatment cost. And so coping, in one way to cope is to speak to the hospital, social workers about resources, share the burden with family members, create a budget to reduce your anxiety, support group like this. And if you are an organization, you're from an institution and you're listening and you do have influence, please support groups like this financially so that we can give to persons who need finances. Another cause of caregiving stress is social isolation. Caregiving consumes your time, leaving little room for friendship or hobbies or doing things differently. I had to put so many things on hold, because of course my husband health is priority. And some persons, some understood, some didn't understand, but social isolation is a real thing. But what you can do is stay connected in small ways, phone calls, a text message, let people know that you're all right, let people know that, hey, I'm having a hard day today. Join online groups, support groups, invite someone to join you on with the appointment. Sometimes you may say, I had one time I had to tell my husband, I cannot make today. I'm sending this person with you and I will join you in the afternoon because I just could not make. Lack of choice could also feel like a stressor where even when even when motivated by love, caregiving can feel like it's taken away your freedom, just like the social isolation. Um, how do you cope? Acknowledge the loss, reframe the role as a daily choice of love, and protect small pockets of control, like how you spend your 10 minutes of free time, right? So time is a very important commodity. It's very, very important. So manage those. Manage yourself in it. Now, we can't manage time, eh? We have to manage ourselves in time. And so out of these five causes of stress, which one feels heaviest for you right now? And which coping strategy might help lighten your stress? For me, yes, somebody's asking what I experienced. For me, I felt which one was difficult? The Sometimes I felt really isolated, yes, because I felt like, gosh, I can't, I don't have time for this, I don't have time. When I needed to make different choices, I needed to just make different choices so that I can, keep in touch with persons and all of that. Managing finances was also a stressor, thinking about where it's going to come from and really trusting God, and He came through, that kind of thing. So then with these stressors, cancer caregiving isn't about physical tasks. It's also an emotional marathon. And protecting your mental health is just as important as giving medication or preparing meals. So, how to protect your mental health as a caregiver? Um, it's important that we know to acknowledge our emotions. What am I feeling inside? Now, I would say all feelings are okay, not all behaviors. Yeah. There are no bad emotions. It's unpleasant or pleasant emotions. Emotions provide data. It gives you an answer what is going on inside of you. And so it's normal to feel those emotions. It's really, really normal to feel this. One of the big one that I knew, and I'm just looking at something that I wrote down. Yeah, one of the biggest thing, it's anger. Anger surfaces, it comes right to the top. And but it's okay to feel angry. It's okay. It's what you do with your anger. Anger provides you with the information that something is wrong. Maybe I need rest. Maybe I need to talk to somebody. Maybe I need to just stop for a bit. What do I need? That's very, very important to understand. And so, um, moving along, it's okay to feel sad, as I said, it's okay to feel angry, frustrated, even now, numb, I should say. Don't ignore your emotions, name them. When you label your feelings, you reduce the power over you. So you can name them by journaling, praying. You can tell somebody, I feel overwhelmed right now. And I just want to go back on the point with anger. As somebody would have put on the chat that, they had to push aside their anger and, they feel guilty for being angry. And so pushing aside your anger is dangerous because what you bury alive doesn't die, it grows. And suppressed anger can turn into resentment, bitterness, burnout, depression, or even physical illness. Yeah, I'm taking my time on this point because instead of denying it, acknowledge that you are angry. Anger is a signal that something needs care. Maybe you need rest. Maybe you need help. Maybe you need boundaries to set. Listening to your anger allows you to respond wisely instead of exploding later. Yeah? And so, another way to protect your mental health is setting realistic expectations. You cannot do everything. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. The house might not look spotless as the way you want it, and that's okay. It's not every day you can just show up to the optimum or show up to the best. Give yourself some grace. A big one that I had to learn was to accept help from others. And I'll tell you this, when I accepted the help, I really appreciated the help of persons stepping in to take us to the hospital, bring us back, take us to doctor visits, just coming and sitting, cooking, cleaning, just staying over with me. I am so grateful to the friends that show up to my church circle. Listen, people, a support circle is amazing. And so saying yes to support does not make you weak, it makes you wise. Moving along, protecting your mental health looks like staying connected. Caregiving can feel isolating, and we would have seen that in the previous slide, but connection is healing. Remember, you need a village too. Even a phone call or online community like this can lighten the emotional load. And if you just came in this space, we're talking about the role of the caregiver and how to support you on this journey. And you are a part of the All Cancer Group Trinidad and Tobago Support Group. And so welcome to you if you're just joining us. And I am Denise from Safe Place Family Life Enrichment Center. Good. So thank you for being here. And so taking care of your mental health doesn't just look like acknowledging your emotions, setting realistic expectations, or staying connected. Taking break without feeling guilty. Rest is not selfish; it's very productive. And as my friend Donna would say, rest is an investment. It is a big investment. Even short pauses, a walk, a nap, a cup of tea in silence can reset your body and your mind. Think of breaks like fuel stops. You cannot run on empty. And so I like to say, give the world the best of you and not what's left of you. And so, in addition, you're taking care of your mental health also look like seeking professional help through counselors, therapists, support groups like this. Asking for professional support does not mean you are failing. It means that you are wise enough to get the right tools. Another way that you can protect your mental health is maintain self-care rituals. Protect your peace intentionally. There would be some people who doesn't serve you well on this journey. Know which phone call to take, know which message to respond to, know who to talk to, find safe circles to be in. Be careful of where you pour yourself. Protect your peace. Eat balanced meal, hydrate, keep moving, keep active, prioritize your sleep when possible, nourish your spirit with prayer, meditation, and journaling. That was a big thing for me and still is. So there are more things that you can do in regards to your self-care routine, but you know, you can add more to it. Whatever works for you, work it. All right. Um, so let's get to or shift to the heart of today's session, keeping it together. And you are saying, how can I keep it together? This is a lot. I get that. And how do you keep yourself together while caring for your loved one? Keeping it together doesn't mean pretending you are okay. It means creating rhythms that help you breathe, refuel, and stay resilient. Knowledge is key. Don't be afraid to ask the doctors questions. Keep a notebook with medication. You can't remember everything. Record side effects, test results. Being informed reduces your anxiety. Anxiety steps up where there's fear of the unknown. So get knowledge. It is key to help you to breathe, refuel, and stay resilient. Micro breaks. You may not have an hour to yourself, but you can take 10 to 15 minutes for deep breathing. Sit. You can go on YouTube, look at the breathing exercise, and just take 10 to 15 minutes. I used to go to the bathroom and, as I would call it, water therapy, not just taking a bath, but water therapy, and just stand under the shower. Sometimes I light a candle, put on a podcast, something instrumental, just taking that moment as I could get it, as you can juggle it. Pray, stretching, stepping outside, small breaks reset your body and your mind. And so take a break. It's okay. Accept help. We would have established that before because many caregivers struggle with this. But it's okay to say yes when someone offers to bring a meal, fold your laundry, sit with your loved one. You don't have to do everything alone. You know, what makes this journey difficult for a lot of people is trying to do it alone. So when you are going through a difficult season, it's not just this thing or the event that is causing the pain, but the fact that we human beings try to do life alone, try to do this journey alone. We weren't designed to live alone. We were designed to heal and to grow in community and to heal in community. And so I'm listening to this very wonderful book, and I think everyone should get it. Don't Try This Alone by Tony Collier. It just came out. It's very, very powerful. And so don't try to do this journey alone. It will not work. Another thing that can anchor you as strategies for you as a caregiver, setting boundaries. Boundaries are not for the other person. Boundaries are for you. Because saying things like not right now or no, I can't, I'm unable to, and there's a way to say it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's also an act of love, setting limits for yourself, how much time you spend doing something, your physical boundaries, your time boundaries, physical boundaries, content. What are you pouring into your mind and your heart while you are on this journey? There are so many other type of boundaries that are important. You can explore them, see where you lack, and set them as you go forward. Be careful that you're not setting walls and blocking people out. Boundaries are like property lines, so just be careful there. Another strategy for us caregivers is emotional release. Talk to a trusted friend. And I'm in this moment right now. I'm remembering one night when my husband went to the hospital, and two of my girlfriends at the time, my very good friends, they saw me do the ugly cry, and I took that moment to be vulnerable, and I cried my heart out, and that felt really good. And I want to say thank you. You know who you are, that you allowed me to show my pain, and you honored my pain. And that's what you do. Find people to honor your pain. A counselor, pastor, friend, or join a support group like this. Bottling it up will only wear you down, because bottling it up keeps you heavy. Celebrate small victories. So when we got a good lab results, my God, that was celebration. Celebrate a day without nausea. Celebrate a day without the side effects of a medication, or shared laugh. Victories don't have to be a big to matter. Yeah? And so close your eye right now. Take a minute and just think about those moments that you neglected to celebrate, and celebrate them. Just say, you are grateful. Take a minute right now. Pause with me. Put your arms like this. Sit straight. This is called the butterfly hug and say, my needs matter. My needs matter. My needs matter. Yes, your needs matter too. When you care for yourself, you are not taking away from your loved one. You are giving them the gift of a healthier you. What are some tools for sustaining hope? Hope is the oxygen on this journey. Caregiving is not just physical, it's emotional and spiritual. To keep it together, you need hope. Find small daily joys, as I said, music, sunlight, laughter. Create rituals of connection, prayer, stories, meals together. Build a circle of care through family, friends, faith community, professionals. Give yourself permission to be human. Um, Tears are not weakness, they are a form of release. Crying doesn't make you weak. Crying doesn't make you weak at all, at all. Don't make nobody trivialize what you are experiencing. Crying doesn't make you weak. It means you have been strong for too long. Tears are a release, not a failure. They are part of your healing process, even for you as the caregiver. What you don't want is bottling up everything. My husband and I always would say, wounds that are not healed, you bleed on people who didn't cut you. So allow yourself to release. Hope is a survival mechanism, not false positivity. As caregivers, it is easy to feel like we have to stay positive all the time, even when fear and exhaustion or grief weigh heavily on us. And I want to put a pin here. Sometimes in the faith-based circle, we are not given room to deal with our own emotions. And if that is you, please stop. If you're having one of those difficult emotions, okay, feel it. um, Hope isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about holding on to the possibility of good, even in the middle of uncertainty. Hope gives you strength to face another day, to keep showing up for your loved one, and to care for yourself along the way. It is the fuel that sustains you when the road feels long and difficult. Reflection time again. So take a moment. What is one practice that helps you hold on to hope? What is one thing that you do that helps you hold on to hope? Drop it in the chat, and if it's in the replay that you're looking at, you can still feel free to drop it in the chat, leave us a comment. And so moving along, faith-based tools for caregivers. Now, caring for someone with cancer can test both your body and your spirit. Your faith can be a source of strength, comfort, and resilience. What are some things that helped me among many others? Daily devotions of prayer and scripture. I had to tap into those things on a daily basis. Gratitude and reflection journaling. Powerful. I still do them today. Spiritual support network, like your church circle, like this support group, whatever it is, because caring for someone with cancer can test both your body and your spirit, as I just said. Practice it. Practice it. Make it a habit. It will be your place of release. And I've found that it is a great strength. It's a great booster. It helps you to be resilient. So as we close, I want to remind you of this. Caregiving for someone with cancer is not just about keeping them alive, it's about keeping love alive. And to do that, you must keep yourself alive too, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And so you don't have to be perfect, you only have to be present. I repeat that. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be present. So this week, I challenge you to take one small action to care for yourself. Maybe it's a nap, a walk, saying yes, a piece of chocolate, ice cream. Don't eat too much of that. Ask yourself, what do I need in this moment? What do I need in this moment? And so caregiving is less about, as I said, doing it perfect, but being present wholeheartedly. And so, it's an opportunity for us to do something for our loved one. and to taking care of our loved one who also in some cases take care of us. And it's such an honor that I had the privilege to take care of my husband. And I really thank God for that. Hope and rest and faith are not luxuries for caregivers. They are lifelines. And so as I close, caregiving is a journey of sacrifice, but also of deep love. So remember, your well-being matters too. Leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a question, we'll get back to you. And remember, I honor what you are doing. Give yourself some grace, some love. What you are doing is big and it is to be honored. And don't forget, caregiving is a journey of sacrifice, but also of deep love. Remember, your well-being matters too. Your well-being matters too. Have a blessed night. Until we meet again, stay tuned to the social media platforms for the All Cancer Group. When they will be having the next support group meeting, please join, invite somebody in. And you can also follow us on social media, Safe Place Family Life Enrichment Center on Facebook and on Instagram. Have a blessed evening.